And we're live.
Are we?
We are.
Sure?
I think so. I bloody well hope so.
Let's have a look. Let's double check the legitimacy of your comments. There we go. Yes, we are live. Welcome. You are here with your host, Mr. Bloody Pedal Chap. It is that time again. We are live talking fret goodness.
Jive
It will
talking.
be yes, the Bee Gees. Yes. They are people. So it's episode number 173 of the Fret Talk podcast, but it's also episode number of the live cast. You are here with me, Mr. Bloody Pedal Chap, but you are also joined by one of the Bee Gees. It's Mr. Lee. Say hi, Lee.
Hi guys, how you doing? Sorry about getting the bloody titles wrong again. We are not chatting with Mr. Rob Harris. You've got the title. I've changed that, but then you got the subtitle, and yeah.
Yeah, with Mr. Rob Harris of Jamiroquai. I mean,
Yeah.
if he does want to join in the chat below, he's more than welcome. But as for actually featuring on this podcast, it is a no from me, I'm afraid, Mr. Harris.
He is actually a part of the group now. I semi-forcefully added him.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear.
I get the kind of vibe. How are you, man? You're...
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, not too bad. Do you know what? The night's getting darker has really got to me. How's it feeling for you?
Are you getting the seasonal affective disorder? Affected disorder? What's it called? SAD. Seasonal affectiveness disorder, or whatever it's called.
If anyone hears any sort of weird double talk, not like 1984 double talk, but double talk on this, it's because I'm clicking on the live streams, and what's happening is that's coming through with the Budget Pedal Chaps audio as well. So you'll be picking that up as well. Apologies.
You would have thought, however many we are now, probably kind of approaching 100, aren't we, of these live casts?
It's only a momentary thing. It only happens for a second, but it's it's just as I click on it, it goes or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll try not to laugh.
Go.
Oh dear. Right, so let's get on with a proper show. I've got a slightly different setup today. And right, so people who are viewing might notice that I'm looking up to that top right hand corner. Well, it might be top left actually, because it might be mirrored. But I've put the computer monitor up here, so that I've got a better angle on the camera, which is all good. However, I was monitoring my camera feed. So I'd set it to only view my feed rather than Lee's. And now I'm basically sat here just looking at a picture of myself. There's a tiny little postage stamp-sized picture of Lee.
That's basically the same as what I've got here. It's very odd. Right, okay, let's say hello to people. Darren Watson, hello, good evening. Mark Watson, who we are going to be talking with via the chat in a bit about these babies. These are, oh my god, they're so aggressive. I love them. And Andrew Bimson, one of our patronizers. Woo, hello, how you doing, dude? I sold something to Andrew.
Did you?
No, I did. I sold Andrew one of my old switchers because he was looking for a switcher, and I had one that was a bit better than what he was looking for. And I was like, I'll sell it to you a bit cheaper. And he got a really nice little deal out of it. So, yeah. So I was quite pleased about it because I wanted to see Andrew's. His board's been growing and growing over the years. And I just thought, let's get him up to the big boy ranks.
And I'm not saying it's official here, but Andrew is a Patreon backer, and he happens to have got a sweet little discount from Lee. I'm not saying those two things are related, but
definitely are. Yeah, definitely.
I can't confirm or deny that. I'm not giving that as like an official Patreon like a tier. But just so you know, if you are a Patreon backer, it does stand favourably.
I've got a question for you.
Go on.
I have this, and I don't know what it's for. Can you see?
Do you remember how I said postage stamp style?
Yeah, that's why I'm putting it right up close. So it looks like at first it would be a 3.5mm jack to 1/4" jack, but it's not, because it's got the input for a 1/4", and it's not stereo inside, so it's not stereo down to mono.
So yeah, it's just an extender.
I suppose it could be what it's for, but it seems a bit pointless to me, to be honest.
Well, if so, say for example, you've got like a spot like behind a stereo or something, which is really hard to get to, or like it's got really specific, like it's got a bunch of jacks in a row, or it's got like it's got like another connector next to it, which means that the spaces are premium. You might put one of those extenders in so that you can bring the input slightly away from the unit.
You know, it's the best excuse I've heard so far. So let's go with that one, because I've been staring at it for weeks now.
I bought one of those for my mobile phone, which I used to do the cast with, because I've got like my old mobile phone had an absolutely massive massive case for it, and not like the 3.5mm jacks wouldn't fit in, because the actual jack itself would, but the like slightly thicker outer housing that comes after it wouldn't fit through the case. So I had to buy an extender to put into it.
So
that I could.
The Tate is in the house, and he has said, does it flip polarity? That would be a very good idea if I could see a point for that, because it's a jack. It's not like a power jack. But yeah, you know, that I should test that. I should get my multimeter out. Not today, but I should get my multimeter out and test that. That should be fun.
Yeah. I would say just unscrew it, but it's one of those molded ones, isn't it? So.
Yeah, probably would unscrew, but I don't think it'd go back together nicely. All right, okay. Let me ask you, what have you been up to?
So this week's been a busy one. In terms of videos that have been coming out. So at the start of last week was the third in the series of the pickpocket series. I think the first week I did the Trident's Chunky Boy. The second week was this exact Dunlop Stubby, and just behind over there where I can't reach is the Timbertones Rosewood Jazz 3. So that was kind of at the start of the week. So that came out. In fact, actually, no, it didn't. It came out on the Wednesday, and that came out at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then something like 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock came out the next in the series of the Stomp v Stomp stuff as well. So that was pretty cool. The Stomp v Stomp this week featured this pedal. Oh no, I've just created an avalanche.
Loads of noise. I'll make some noise as well.
There you go. It was this exact pedal, the Muller Anna Echo, because I don't happen to have a DM2.
I can't believe you don't have any other analog delays. That's appalling.
No, I've got analog delays. I've got the Joyo analog delay. I've got like a Tom's Line one. I've got the Moore one, but the Moore one is like out of those lot is the most most like the DM2, which all of the Helix versions were based on. So we had a crack at A/Bing the Moore Anna Echo versus the Bucket Brigade, which was the legacy mode, and then it was the analog delay was the legacy mode, and then the Bucket Brigade was the Helix version.
Right. Okay. I got you.
And actually, the little Moor stood up really well.
Well, it will. No, I shouldn't say that because I'm really getting into the analog, into the digital stuff. But the analog pedals, analog delays, they just sound amazing. Going back to your picks just for a second, picks, right? My fellow Tomepedian, Emmanuel Noor, has said Dunlop picks are awesome for shred, and if anyone knows things about shred, it's that man.
Indeed. I would say to Emmanuel, check out Trident's picks, because some of those, I think in the one that's coming out this week, the next in the Pickpocket series, features a Trident's brass pick, which is not necessarily the material brass isn't fantastic for shred, but the shape of the Trident's picks, it's kind of like almost like Jazz 3, but then with like a fin. In fact, I'll show you. I've got one.
While Mr. Budget Pedal Chap gets out, I just want to say hello to our viewers watching on YouTube. Hello over there.
Here we go. So that's the pick edge for this particular one. This one's a quite thick, chunky one. But you've got the pick edge there, and then you've got this light little point. And I find these really, really good for hooking underneath my thumb when I'm playing. So you see, it's resting on the underside of my thumb, and it's really cool.
Quality of your picture coming through isn't amazing right now. Maybe I need to upgrade that a little bit my end.
It's looking fine on my monitor over here. So.
Okay. Well, it's not so much here, but I think that's better. I don't know why this resets it down to 320 every time. It's stupid. Oh, everyone's just watching me do that. I'm just watching it live on YouTube now. Right. Yeah. Okay. So what else have you been doing, dude?
So after the Stomp v Stomp stuff, on Friday we had a look at the TC Electronics Vortex, which happens to be here. I feel this one's a bit of a bit of a sleeper hit in the Tone Print series. Like there's some real big hitters within the Tone Print series, like the Hall of Fame and the Flashback kind of come to mind at first.
And the Corona.
The Corona for obvious reasons. I think like if I was to kind of guess at like the biggest sellers within that, it'd definitely be those two, the Ditto, the Spark, and then possibly like the Sub and Up, because I see those kind of floating about quite a bit.
Yeah, I tell you what,
you don't get
as you rock them out, they're all big hitters, really, aren't they?
Yeah, but I feel like the Vortex really doesn't get great deals of love, for whatever reason.
What is it?
It's a flanger,
right?
So it's got two modes, and then it's got your Tone Print mode. So it's got flanger mode, which is the more extreme of the two, and to show you that there. So you got the little toggle switch there, and the tape mode's a lot more subtle. However, if you set everything at kind of 12 o'clock, that's where you get your kind of meat and potatoes. That's almost like your classic sound, what you'd expect a flanger to sound like. The moment you start moving stuff, like with the speed and the depth, if you max those out, it gets crazy. With the feedback, the feedback, I think it's once you're in the middle, it's kind of the 0 point, and then you've got like negative feedback and then positive feedback. So if you go too much either way, you get those like weird kind of sci-fi laser dolphin sounds. And then the delay time's quite relatively subtle. But yeah, so check that out, because it's I've played more than just kind of dad blues with this one, so I give it a bit of like kind of fancy chords and stuff.
Give it some love.
Really cool. I've got a few more in the Tone Print series that I want to do for the No Talk All Tone. I don't think I've done the Helix Phaser yet, and that's again, it's another really cool one.
So
With
why don't you, when you do the tone print pedals, why don't you add a couple of the tone prints from the website so you can show the versatility of it and just go into like how many presets do you have on that? Is it 4?
with this one, it's just you just get one. So there's one tone print, and then you've got your tape or your flanger. Same with the Helix phaser. With the flashback, I think there are 2 tone print, like, because rather than a toggle switch, it selects it on like a rotary dial. I think there are 2 on that one.
Okay. Okay.
But
Have you got any of the ones
yeah.
with the mash function?
I haven't. No, not yet. No, the flashback 2 and the Hoff 2 are the only ones at the moment, I think,
Okay.
and the plethora as well. So
I really wanted to bring out a pedal called the Bangers.
the Bangers. Okay.
Oh, dear.
I see you. I see you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was showing that a bit of love. The reason that I don't go into the tone prints too much with them, number one, is because the tone print library, if you're just looking at the kind of the artist's library themselves, I'd be like the video for something like that, which is only a 4 knob pedal, would probably take me about an hour if I was going through all of the tone prints, which I don't think anyone wants to be watching an hour of the finer points of the tone prints of a flanger. So I just kind of I go with the stock stuff, and then if anyone really wants to hear a specific one, then I'll go back to it and revisit.
Do you know what, man? I would happily, or easily, I should say, spend an hour dialing in a flanger sound.
Yeah, but when I'm creating YouTube content, I think would the viewer want to be watching this? And at about the 10-minute mark, I'm thinking probably not.
No.
The Vortex flanger, I managed to get the video bang on 10 minutes, which is fantastic.
Nice, brilliant.
Couldn't do that again. Tried.
Been up to anything else? Sorry, I asked you a question just as you're taking a sip of your drink.
It's okay. I'll learn to talk through my nose. So last night actually was a bit of a strange one. It was the first time that I've managed to have a bit of like guitar practice that hasn't been.
Oh. Sorry, we're having trouble with this video. What is going on? So we should crack on for the podcast. But what is going on here?
I don't know. As long as you can hear me, then it's fine. So I had like a bit of guitar practice that wasn't recording a video for YouTube, which that's a thing at the moment. A lot of my guitar playing is kind of functional. It's here to demo this pick or demo that or demo whatever, which is all good and well, but it's when you're demoing stuff, you're not trying to push the boat in terms of your technique and ability, because you want it to turn out right, so you don't want to make mistakes. But I had like a good 2 hours of just practicing last night, because a certain friend of ours sent me through a guitar pedal, and I'm not going to be telling you what that is just yet. I think I'm gonna wait until the video.
We're not still live, but we should be any second. This is going to mess up our YouTube. I don't know. Actually, we might.
It's going to give us two videos rather than just one.
Huh?
Is it going to give us 2 videos rather than just one?
Yeah. Can anyone see us? Are we live? Are we live? Are we just fantasy?
Have we been live that entire time?
Caught in a landslide. No.
From reality.
Oh, we might be. Actually, we might.
I think we are.
We're back on the same stream.
Yeah, I don't think we've gone. If I'm honest, it was 2 videos. Right?
Check that out. we came back on the same stream.
Cool.
That's amazing. I stopped the stream. I did some stuff. We've come back, and look, everyone's still here. Like, where have you gone? Please come back. Hello. Right. Okay. Let's crack on then. Yep. So Mr. Budget Pedal Chap said that he's been playing a lot more.
Oh, I managed to play once. I'm not going to say I managed to play a lot more, but I was playing a quite a dirty pedal, and I was really enjoying the volume control, really getting some of those kind of Hendrix cleans where it's like gamey pedal rolled back.
Yeah. It's nice. I've been playing an awful lot more, like so much more. And why do you think that is?
It's because of your Waza Air headphones, isn't it?
That's right, baby. That's right. I am so happy I've got them. I can just sit there, and they feel like they've got a noise cancelling element to them as well. So it makes me a bit of a bad parent. But yeah, I'm just sitting there chilling out, and oh my god, just so good, so very good. I'm the tones that you get on them. There's loads and loads of tones. It's just like the katana. It's almost exactly like the katana. So you've got the 5 different amps, I think it is, and then you've got loads of different pedals on there, loads of different types of pedals. It's even got a rat on there. I was really surprised. Absolutely banging, really great, and it means that I've been able to practice fast playing, bluesy playing, everything. Finally going back over songs I've been playing for years, and just like trying to make sure I'm playing them right, and I wasn't. So
Whoops.
Yeah, I've nailed down Master of Puppets, which is great. So that led me on to earlier on today. I had the chance to play these. These are we're going to talk about them in a minute, but these, which I mentioned earlier from TMD, they're very high gain pedals. One's called the Satanist, so that one, and they the first thing I was rocking out on them was Master of Puppets, because I was like, yeah, I can play this properly now. That was great fun. Do you want to know more of what I've been up to? Huh?
So what are the 2 pedals you got there? The Satanist and what's that kind of based on?
I can pop them up on the screen. I've got them here to show everyone. So you've got the Satanist, and let me just double check the name of the other one. I've forgotten it off the top of my head.
There you go. Satanist and Crucifixion.
That's it. V2. Crucifix V2. Crucifixion. Marky Mark's put it in there. So the Crucifix, as Mark said in there, is a HM2. But what's well cool about this is it's got a clean blend. HM2 with a clean blend. Sorry.
It's a pretty clever idea, because I mean, a lot of the time when you're using like extreme gains, the problem is that the compression of it is so much that you can't get the note articulation.
Yeah.
Kind of initial attack, because it's all so squashed.
You got a mid control on it as well, which is fairly interesting. What I found that was I've never had a HM2, so I've played them, but only briefly. Huh?
You got no real point of comparison.
Yes, but what I found interesting is, as you turn this up, and let me pull the image off. As you pull up the highs and the lows, it's like it's like a
You're doing what to the image? Yeah.
It's like normal, as a low control would work, and then here in this last little bit here, it's like it completely changes the EQ. and so does the highs as well. And it kind of goes like as if it's like normal, 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 and then up here it starts boosting a
Yeah.
completely different frequency. Um,
Oh,
uh, and it's just like wow, it just feels like you've got a different pedal completely. So I dialed it in for all your real high gain tones, and it was really fantastic. Like your mid scoopy sort of sounds, and that's why I got the metallica sort of sounds. But then I went into the sort of sounds that I would normally play with as well, and that was the benefit of having the mid control on there, and dialed in a bit of the clean tone as well. And what that gave me was the some really, really, really just nice heavy rock tones, like really heavy rock tones. Think you
yeah.
Zach Wilds and these sort of things, but and beyond. But yeah, it was nice. It was really, really cool, and I was pleased with that. Mark, tell us if you're still here, man. Tell us about this EQ. So when you get up to the real extremes of the highs and the lows, and then it kicks in this extra sort of tone, as it were. Tell us about that. The Satanist. Now, this is an interesting pedal. This is
Was that the crucifixion then? That one?
yeah, the Crucifixion version 2 was the one I just had there. So that's the HM2.
Okay.
The Satanist is well, it's pretty.
I'm not.
It's a different beast. And it's got this shape control which the tone feels a bit like a high pass filter. So
Okay.
as you dial it back, you're getting less and less highs, and it's a and then the shape gives you as you turn it down, it was thumpier, and as you turn it up, it's kicking in. It chooses what you're accentuating via the toner. I'm guessing not quite like a Q would, but more like moving the frequency, but in a
Yeah.
very clever way, a very organic way. So it didn't sound like a wah with this shape. Um,
Yes. A gentle nudge of a log of a band.
Yeah, yeah, if you like, yeah, it probably did adjust the cue a little bit as well. It was a bit fuzzy, and that was nice. Not, I wouldn't say it's a fuzz, but it's more like a fuzz H than
Yeah. Yeah.
the other one.
Crucifix.
I'm just
So are we talking
looking on
a bit like?
mine. It says level, gain, tone, and shape, and on the picture on the screen it says level, evil, cold, and dark. So
Yeah.
yeah, it does.
For you, so that you don't get lost. Oh,
Yeah.
Jim, you can't deal with that.
What's that?
With you wouldn't be able to deal with it if you had controls that weren't named as they are.
Our friends over at Funny Little Boxes said about your Vortex, said I couldn't agree more. The Vortex is sorely overlooked, but has a ton of good stuff to offer. Yeah, yeah. I really like Flanger, really, really do. So look, has anyone actually got these? Anyone got any of these TMD pedals? The ones I've got here are going to be some of the last etched models. I know Mark, I've watched him do it online in terms of etching them. Nothing gross, but I've watched him etching these as we've been having chats, and it's absolutely insane. He wears like a massive, great big gas mask and like World War II gas mask looking thing.
No,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
mental.
it's a little acid, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
you paint on like a certain formula of some description that protects certain areas, and then the rest gets kind of eroded away by the acid.
it's a bit like how they used to do PCBs
Yeah, 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 like with the acid baths and
and a pen, not a sharpie.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we did it back in school, but we did it with like you'd print onto like an acetate paper, and then it's shining the UV light at the PCB, and the areas that were affected by the UV would get eroded more quickly by the acid. It was a crazy
Okay,
situation.
right. Mark has come in with some answers to this. So the EQ, and but this is regarding the crucifixion. So the EQ is set with a log pot, so logarithmic pot taper. Okay, so with logarithmic, it kind of it doesn't go like as you would expect. It gets more and more and more as it goes towards the end. So it grows almost exponentially. Yeah. So so it's generally done with a 10k pot, and they use a 100k pot just to give it a little more control, and it does a bunch of little. It does a little more at the end of the sweep. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And then etching is an art and takes a ton of time to get right. Yeah, I'm sure it does. And that's why you'll find TMD pedals are now going over to being fully printed. So these are going to be some of the last production models. And then if you still want to be able to get them etched, I think you're going to have to pay market premium because it's Heaselungs. But, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's people who are offering that kind of thing, aren't they? Like Doug Christ, who's also one of our Patreon backers. He does a pedal called the Fat Guy Little Co. And he's now started a pricing where like your base price is like the factory version.
Yeah, Max. Sorry, go on.
So it's like a brushed finish, and then like if you want custom colours, then you add a little bit more. So it's that kind of personalisation, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Zevex did it as well, didn't they, with the hand painted fuzz factories?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come on to Zevex shortly. Yeah. So Mark said, not quite. We still offer the etching, but it will be a little bit more. So yeah, it's exactly what we were saying, really, isn't it? You can still get the etched finishes, and they do look great. They feel great as well. I love the, just touching them.
Finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What I would have liked to seen in the art was some real blood. That would have been a nice touch. What's cool?
Why are you not leaving for us, Mark? Why?
What's cool is look at the upside down cross on there. Oh, hang on, let me take these images off of here. But because I think I've got an older image of the Satanist there. But look, the upside down cross, and you've got the LED smack bang in the middle of it. It's cool. I should take that off there because there's some titties on it. So that's
demonetized titties.
Demonetized. I've got to monetize the bloody thing first.
I mean, it's easier to monetize titties, so I am to believe.
Yeah.
Stick it up on like OnlyFans or Pornhub or something. We'll be set.
Our friend Anthony Flisher from Folkestone Guitar Store weighed in on my mystery jack connector thing, and he said maybe it's to change a right angle jack into a straight jack.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was.
Yeah,
what I was getting at, because like right angles in certain situations are a bit of a pain.
Check out this old school crappy jack I've got. Oh my god, I had this probably about 15-20 years. It's rubbish. Probably still works, but
fair play to it that it's still working.
I don't know how I've used it.
We're a good 37 minutes into the cast, and we should probably tackle some of this news.
All right, I just want to chuck you one more little thing that I've been doing this last couple of weeks, which is really, really cool. So I've started to put my new board together, which has a hell of a lot of digital pedals. It's looking really, really great. And the GT 1000 core is amazing. Oh my god, it's so good. It's just so cool, and it's filling in any gaps. Anything that's missing on my board is no longer missing because it's there, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be having a lot of fun with that. Other than that, work-wise, I've been working really hard. We've brought in some brilliant new demos from Lowell on YouTube. And we've got some really, really cool stuff from Mikey as well. So we released did we release the black hole yet?
that one's coming up.
That's
I think it's a premiere, so it's premiering on on Wednesday at 10.
And that is a fantastic reverb. So if you want to see how it sounds in the hands of the maestro that is Mikey, check that out on Wednesday. And for those listening to the podcast, that will be the previous Wednesday. So you can listen to it right after you finish listening to this podcast.
Yep.
And then on Tonepedia, I've done a bunch of classic fuzzes, including 1.5 tone benders, and some old classic muffs, some Russian big muffs. We've got our hands on a load of really, really, really cool stuff, like version 2 big muffs and stuff like that. So it's fantastic. That's been a lot of fun researching them and finding out about it. You've been
having a lot of fun getting your hands on some old muff.
Yeah, absolutely. And fuzz, yeah, absolutely. It's great. And some of the Voodoo Lab stuff, that's been really good fun as well. Have you ever tried any of the Voodoo Lab stuff?
I haven't. Not even a power supply.
Really?
No.
So they got
not got my hands on any of the Voodoo Lab stuff. I do have, in fact, I've got a PCB for is it the 67 overdrive?
I don't
the black thing, like it's got green writing on it. It's a 2-knob thing, but I've got a PCB for something inspired by that. I just need to get my finger out my and start actually putting some of these PCBs together, because I've got too many and I'm just lazy.
You got the Sparkle drive, which is not a 67 overdrive. I don't know. But what's interesting about the Sparkle drive is it's a Tube Screamery style pedal that has a clean blend to it. And what other pedal can we think of that's a bit like that we've released on Tonepedia recently?
Is it a certain Taint Effects pedal by any chance?
And do you know what? They sound nothing alike. It's like people were comparing them, and it was like, well, go and try them out. So if you're wondering how they compare, go and check them out, because we put a lot of work into that. So yeah, there's loads of really cool stuff we've been releasing on there recently. I know there's some other stuff that I've meant to mention, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. But yeah, so we've been releasing a lot of really cool stuff on there, and I know it's work and I'm talking about it, but it is related and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It gives you the opportunity to try out those pedals as well, because you might not. I know Taint Effects pedals aren't stocked in every shop. Personally, I've not been able to see Voodoo Lab stuff in any of the shops that are near me, so I wouldn't be able to A/B them, even though I've got like the Antares somewhere.
Yeah, you can actually go over to tainteffects.com and try out the pedals straight off of his own website as well, because they're on his homepage. Alternatively, you can go to pedalboardsofdoom.com, pbodoom.com, and buy them there instead, which I would prefer. Dipping my hand in Stu's pocket. Yeah.
Either or, like he's a good chap. Get some of his pedals, because they are good. I mean, we talk about them a lot, but we wouldn't do if they weren't so damn good. And they've got little secret Allen Partridge quotes in them, inside them as well, if you open them up.
Not all of them, some of them do, and that leads even more to the mystery, doesn't it? Or whether it will, whether it won't. There is no, actually I won't say anymore. Mark and Shay from TMD, who make the Satanist and the Crucifixion, will hopefully be joining us on an upcoming show. So keep tuned, keep your eyes peeled for that.
Indeed.
Yeah. So
we're going to do some newers.
Should we talk about something that's a little bit controversial then?
Are we going to controversial?
Yeah, I did message you about this earlier, but I think you might have missed it.
Controversial.
Yes. So, it's good. I like. Oh, it's be good to hit you with this one. See what your opinion is on it. Sometimes people go and buy a pedal that's released because it's a limited edition pedal, and they think they can buy it and sell it off cheap. Sorry, buy it off, buy it and sell it off with a massive profit. You see
They
this
do. Yeah.
all the
Like,
time with the King of
ticket
Tone.
scalps.
Huh?
Yeah, it's almost like ticket scalps, and it.
It's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is, and that's been made like illegal in the UK. So you get done quite heavily if you get caught doing that. And what's made it really really bad is just like with the ticket scalps is these people who don't have a lot of money, who can afford the tickets now can't because of these bastards. So people
Well,
who want to go and see their favorite band can't because someone who's got no interest in the band just wants to make a markup on it.
yeah, completely.
So I don't have a huge amount of money, and I've always thought fancy getting a Zvex Fuzz Factory because my favourite band in the whole wide world, Muse, the songs that I fell in love with, Muse, like Plug In Baby and these sort of things, all
Yeah, I
featured
would
the Fuzz
agree.
Factory.
Yeah.
But I like things to be a little bit more up to date. I like things to have MIDI and these sort of things. And what should happen? Oh look, Chase Bliss and Zvex are teamed up and made a limited run of a Fuzz Factory with MIDI. I'm like, this is my perfect pedal. I missed out on getting one. And I missed out on getting one because these idiots went and all bought them up and then started putting them online for like, I saw people reporting it was like 1,500 quid, £3,000, stuff like that. These pedals were £3,500, so £350, $400, and people were selling them for £3,000.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean that is what we call a dick move there.
Yeah. So
Uh,
what Chase Bliss went and did was said, okay, look, we'll just do a second run. We'll just do it in different colours. If you're not fussed about the colour, which I'm not, I still want it to look good. But I'm not too fussed about the colour. Yeah, that's great. As soon as he mentioned that, all the people who bought them just to make profit started complaining, said they were going to send them back. Now that
I mean that's karma there.
that is
Um,
it's just so out of order. These people say, "Oh, I'm going to send mine back if it's not worth anything. I'm going to send it back." Just oh my god.
yeah. I mean, it's with the King of Toad. It's a case of um, no one's forcing you to buy those ones. What you're paying for is skipping the queue, and you'll often find that people are selling them for like 400 or 500 quid, and they sell, but they're not out of production. You can go and get one as long as you are patient enough to wait that queue out.
Yeah, things like the
So
Klon, they've been pushed up in price, just generally because of people trying to profiteer out of them. Now they're just worth that much, which is kind of like annoying, but because they're no longer in production. But then again, the KTR is supposed to be exactly the same, so they are really, aren't they?
yeah. I mean, it's that, isn't it? It's again like as long as you're not worried about it looking exactly like the original gold and silver versions, then the KTR should be fine
Hmm.
because you're being told by the man who makes them himself. I've not changed anything. It's still exactly the same thing that you're gonna get.
Yeah, but the case
But
makes it sound different.
it's that kind of that status symbol, isn't it? With the clone,
Yeah,
the original run. Those are uh, pardon the pun, but they are like the kind of the unicorn um, of the of the like guitar pedal world, aren't they? They're like the rare as rocking all shit.
yeah,
Uh, so I mean that hype again. It's kind like I don't know. It's a bit of an iffy area, but like for this one where it is like there's a limited run of it, and they go, okay, we're gonna do like a certain run of these, and then people are like legitimately buying them and then complaining that, oh, I can't make any money off this. I'll send it back. That is just a dick move. That is just a plain and simple dick move.
Yeah, you
Uh,
know, I went ahead and messaged Joel and said to him, "Look, we stand behind you 100%." You know, because he's had a really rough time for this. He's gone ahead and taken time off of social media because he's just had so much flack from people. They're saying, "Oh, you knew this would happen," and everything along these lines. But at exactly the same time that came up, because these have been released in conjunction with so this is the Bliss factory that I've just put up on the screen now. This is the one that's just come out that I really wanted, and you know, woe is me and all that sort of thing. But I'm not alone in this, and that's if it was just myself, I wouldn't be talking about it on the podcast. I'd be moaning at you about it, but I wouldn't be talking about it on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
So you know, that's the Bliss factory. Now this came out as part of the pedal movie that's being released via Reverb. And so Reverb do a lot of these limited releases. So they even did one with Stu they did the Green Razor Dead, didn't they? You know, so they do a lot of these things, right? And this was released at the same time as this, which is the Time Shadows, which is a conjunction between Death by Audio and Earthquaker. Now we haven't had the controversy with that pedal. And that's because there was a lot of hype around the Bliss factory, and these scalpers know what they're doing. They went after him. And people were turn around and saying, well, the companies need to take more responsibility and, you know, think about who they're selling these to. And it's like, well, look, if you were to go out and ask these people some questions to try and, like, make sure they're the right people, they're just going to lie.
I mean, yeah, if they're in the knowledge enough to know that these are a sought after product in the guitar community, they're knowledgeable enough to be able to lie through an interview for it. But it's not even a case of that. Why should the company? Why should it be up to Chase Bliss and ZVEX to vet the people that they're in the business to sell these pedals?
Yeah,
that's their business. They've done that job exceedingly well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've made a big post about this, and the most people are singing off the same hymn sheet as us because they're decent people.
Yeah, completely. And you've got like 90% of people are like that. You found it during the first wave of lockdown as well, where people would go into like supermarkets and buy up stocks of like sanitizers and toilet rolls and stuff because they were in short supply, in hopes that they would get a little bit of a profit. And what's happened there is, like, even though like what they did weren't illegal, they've been shamed into into a situation where their goods aren't any good anymore. That's what we need to do as a guitar community. We need to put a stop to that. And if people are trying to sell on the like pre-order pedals that are limited run for like 10 times the price, as a community, the way that we stop it is by saying, nope, pedal's not worth that much.
Yeah,
I'm not buying it.
Yeah, these scalpers are only as good as the people who are buying them. It's the same with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. You know, exactly the same things happening. People are selling these for thousands of pounds online just because someone wants to get a console that has 3 games available for it 2 weeks earlier than everyone else.
Yeah.
Really annoying.
And it's that desperation and that kind of like built-in almost hype that makes people act on that. But if you take a step back and just act rationally and go, no, in a month's time, this person's going to have to drop their prices if they've trying to sell it for like $1.5 grand and it's not selling. They're going to have to reduce the price.
Yeah, should we just sum up what these 2 pedals are? So the first one's the Bliss Factory, which we've spoken about. It is a ZVEX Fuzz Factory, which does get, you know, sort of musy sounds and a bunch of other sounds. The Fuzz Factory is basically a fuzz face. The fuzz faces have, I don't know, 7 components or something along those lines. And
yeah.
what they've done is basically put all of them on variable resistors. And yeah, it's amazing. It's so much fun. That's my very limited understanding of it. That you don't,
It's not quite that, but yeah, like they've put like voltage starve into it and they've put like EQ controls into it where it didn't have before. But at the heart of it, it is that kind of classic fuzz sound. But then because it's got all of these like parameters that you can change in it, it can go really, really crazy. Which is why Matt Bellamy was drawn towards it, I think, because he's like, especially in those early days, he was very much kind of looking towards making some real experimental guitar tones.
well, he had it built into the silver guitar
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah,
with a theremin.
yes,
and
yes.
and a
The
load
chaos.
of MIDI stuff as well. No, he didn't have the Chaos Pad in that one. That was later on. So when he was doing Origin and Symmetry and stuff like that, that was way before the Chaos Pad came in.
Yeah, but those are the kind of things that inspires him. It's the real outlandish, making your guitar not really sound like a guitar by that point.
Yeah. The Time Shadows from Death by Audio, who are an amazing company. They are so out there, so wacky. And Earthquaker, who, we all know Earthquaker. This pedal, I haven't got the faintest idea what this does. It is absolutely off its trolley in terms of the way they describe it. It's like half delay, half filter, half this, half that. It's go and watch some demos of it because it looks really, really wacky. And Earthquake could do some really, really wacky stuff. Death by Audio, they're next to crazy. So yeah, just go out and watch some videos on that. If we can get hold of one, we'll do a video on it. We do have a demo coming up of the Bliss Factory because Mikey, bastard, managed to get his hand on one.
It's just the one hand though.
yeah, just one, and he's not going to be like selling it off soon. And if he does, it's going to be sold to me, cheap.
I don't think that's going to happen. He might sell it off to you, but I don't think he'll sell it off cheap. He's not a dumb man. I might be.
No, he's lovely though, is Mikey, and he really is.
Very good demos. Like I'm excited to, because I've seen the Black Hole demo. I'm excited for that to drop. I think that's gonna really really go well.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the time that we've got. We're talking like 56 minutes. So, do you want to wrap up with the Boss news? Right, before we like go into the whole Boss spiel, I wanted to see if you know what's what. So the Boss kind of teasing announcement is it's not really announced anything yet, but we've got a fair idea of it. But it's definitely going to be a Wazacraft pedal. There are currently 8 pedals in the Wazacraft lineup. Lee, how many of those do you reckon you could name?
Of what's on the Wazacraft?
Yeah, what's in the current Wazacraft lineup?
I could probably name them all.
Go on then.
Right, okay, C2W.
Hang on, let's have a look. Yeah, so chorus, yeah.
DM2W.
Yeah.
The MT2W.
Yeah.
The DC2W.
Yeah.
The what's the bloody vibrato called? VB2W.
Vibrato's fine by me. So you've got, sorry, I've not been counting this as going long. So you've got delay, you've got dimension, you've got metal zone, you've got vibrato, you've got chorus. So you've got 5. You've got what? 3 more. Yeah.
SD1W.
Yeah.
I'm getting tight now. Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Come on.
Gonna have to rush you.
Give me a clue.
Colour.
Yeah. What colour?
The colour. It's a definite colour. Think of all the colours you can think of.
No, go on. This isn't making good radio.
It's not making good radio. So Blues Driver,
Oh yes, Blues Driver. Oh yes, yes, yes.
and quite clearly the best of the lot is the TU3W.
Oh, that's the. I should have got the blues. I should have got the Blues Driver, but I definitely would never have remembered the tuner.
I know.
I do like that. I loved it. I loved it. It's black. It's really cool.
There you go. So we've got quite a mixed bag, but there's some quite heavy hitters within there, like the Dimension and the VB2 are obviously like pedals that had gone out of the releases, and then had like a bit of a cult following, so come back. We've obviously got like the standards, like the SD1, the Blues Driver. It took quite a while for the Metal Zone to come out.
Came out exactly the same time as exactly the same day as the Dimension. See,
yeah, as Dimension, but like the Dimension had a bit of a cult following. The Metal Zone has been ubiquitous, whether you love it or hate it, you know about it.
Yeah. Did you know? I think that's their best-selling pedal ever.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, because like the amount of people who get into guitar thinking, yeah, I want to be Dimebag. So at the moment, I've got like a shitty Squire Strat and a practice amp. I need something to make that have like high gain. There you go, and that's a MT2W.
And do you know what? I was like looking around me when I was doing that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, one of them, one of them."
That's it. I mean, you are quite a Boss fanboy.
Do you know what? I never used to be, and it's kind of like snuck up on me a little bit. And do you know what? They just make really good stuff, especially nowadays. They kind of like they made really, really, really good stuff in the early days. Then it was bit meh, and now they're like back as like really, really good.
I'll tell you what though, in the 80s they did have they had some like experimentation, which I think I'm down with. There was some like really, really crazy stuff like the digital metalizer and stuff like that.
Mm.
But like it's absolutely it's really interesting. I mean, I when I first started the budget pedal chat stuff, I had kind of a big bugbear against Boss. I didn't think it was all that relevant anymore.
Yeah.
I've got maybe about 5 or 6 Boss pedals in my pedal cabinet, and I'm not going to be getting rid of any time soon. So, I mean, they are iconic. Right, talking about this post. So we've got the corner of a compact pedal in a kind of silver hammerite finish. It can only mean one thing, can't it? Really?
Yeah. So the picture I've put up here is actually of the first teaser they did, which was which is for the listener, it's just an
unpainted inkplate.
Yeah, but all completely silver. And then the next one is actually, it almost looks like it's been scratched off. It looks like the paint's been scratched off of it.
That's just unpainted. That's raw metal. And then the next one is finished with the hammerite finish.
Yeah, it's like they've gone over it with a little tiny hammer. So yeah, the only pedal that's got hammerite finish is the FZ3 and FZ5. So the phasers, fuzzes. Sorry. Oh look, in this picture we've got the VB2W and the bloody TU3W. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And right behind it you can see like the
DC2
dimension as well, and the chorus.
Bottom right, you can just see the top of the Blues Driver.
Yeah, so you've got the DM2 and the SD1 there as well. It's quite good. Like just to the left though, it looks like a DS, an MD.
Don't
MD2
even mention that pedal's name in my presence.
And then underneath you've got what looks like a DS1 potentially.
SD one
I'm
probably.
surprised. I'm surprised that the DS1 hasn't got a was cross treatment yet, because the DS1 is iconic.
Yeah, I imagine they will do that at some point. Yeah, it's going to happen. Yeah. So look, in the post they put, we've never done anything like this before, and that has really got me thinking. Does that mean we haven't done a Wazza pedal like this before, or does it mean we've literally never done anything like this before? Because if they haven't done anything like it before, it's not just going to be a straightforward FZ2 Wazza. Or
Yeah, possibly.
are they going to put up the next teaser and it's going to be something completely different? Whatever it
Yeah,
is, all I want to say, and I've said this to Matt, it's got to have MIDI, because you've shown us you can do MIDI on the compacts, so make it so. It's better bloody have MIDI, Matt.
I mean, there is that, yes. However, like, do we need MIDI on an FZ2?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not going to change my answer. Yes, we need MIDI on all pedals, all drive pedals. The bloody Bliss factory has just come out, and I've gone mad about it because it's a fuzz factory with MIDI, and I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Of course, every single drive pedal needs that. Every pedal should have MIDI.
I mean, listeners, you need to back me up in this comment section here, because I don't think drive pedals need MIDI. I think you get a sound with your drive pedal.
Every pedal should have MIDI. It's every single pedal needs to have digital controls, analog pedal. It just needs to happen. There's no reason for it not to happen. It's stupid for it not to happen. It just drives me mad that there's only a few drive pedals out there that have MIDI, and most of them aren't even digital.
But I'm thinking, am I missing out on anything by not having multiple settings on my drive pedal?
Yeah.
Sorry, multiple like presets. Obviously, I don't think I am.
Yeah, because you can
I've got 3 drive pedals on my.
But you wouldn't need 3 drive pedals then.
Yes, I didn't hear a word of that. Your audio stuttered quite badly.
Sorry, dude. I said you wouldn't actually need 3 drive pedals then, though.
I think it's probably time we're getting to that point in the evening where the internet is going.
The internet's going to bed. Yeah. All right then. Okay. Yeah. Some ups. We've had some downs. We've had some funs. We've had some tears. We've had some laughters. Now let's have some Patreons. Can you hear me?
He's gone.
No, I'm still here.
Well, I'm going to wrap this up then myself. I can't. Like it was stuttering anyway. So I'm going to wrap it up. So before we do wrap up officially, we've got to give a shout out to our Patreon dudes. Andrew Bimpson is one of which who was in the chat today. These are the guys who are keeping this light on for me over here. You are funding this tiny little light bulb that I've got going on. So thanks. And for as little as $2 a month, you can be one of those awesome people, and you can get a shout out on all of our podcasts. And those people are Andrew Bimpson. We've got Adam Yeomans of Chef Tone Effects. We've got Doug Christ of 37 Effects. We've got Huge Erection. We've got Joseph Richardson of Joseph Richardson Music and Abstraction Band. We have got Mr. Ben Fletcher of the Fletcher Pickups, and we've got Brian Gare of the Tone Jerks podcast as well. So thank you once again to those people. You are amazing. And listeners and viewers alike, you are also cool for coming along on this amazing ride. So if you want to catch me online, it will be Budget Pedal Chap at Instagram, YouTube, and the other one, Facebook. And it's one of those ones. If you want to like follow along with the No Talk All Tone series, you have to go to YouTube, because that is the home of the No Talk All Tone. Lee, you are Pedalboards of Doom at Instagram, on Facebook, all of the good stuff. You're also instrumental part of the Tonepedia group, and yeah, pretty much the stuff in it.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yeah.
Ah,
Seem to.
cool. Right. Okay. Bye, everybody.
I think it will be a tatty buying good night for this week, won't it? So, from myself, Mr. Budget Pedal Chap, from Lee, smiling doesn't work on an audio medium. It will be a tatty bye and good night for this week.
Bye-bye. See you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.